All right, on to strand two. So the next strand, student assessment, deals with identification procedures, progress monitoring, and how students demonstrate and develop their abilities. So there are going to be a lot of components to this that require board approval, things like that. Fortunately, a lot of them are already in board policy, so there won't be really anything for y'all to worry about. I just have to explain it to you. So in summary, we have to identify GT students with equity, provide board policy on identification of students in need of services, and transfer students, furloughs, exiting of services, and appeals of district decisions. We have to develop appropriate assessment procedures, and we have to communicate policies, procedures, and relevant documentation to all stakeholders in a language that they can understand. All right. So we're in compliance for each of the following 8 standards that I'm about to read to you. Board policy already exists for each one, but if any of that were to be modified, if you guys thought there's something needed to be changed, it would require a board decision. So let's go ahead and go through these. 2.1 says that written policies on student identification for GT services are approved by the District Board of Trustees and disseminated to all parents. Check. All right. 2.7 says provisions regarding transfer students, furloughs, that's when students take a break from GT services. Maybe there's a loss, some kind of trauma, some kind of illness. Could be for a lot of reasons. They need a break from services. That's allowed. Reassessment, exiting of students from program services, and appeals of district decisions regarding program placement are included in board approved policy. Check, we have all that. All right, 2.8 says that board policy for transfer assessment and placement of transfer students must exist. 2.10 involves board policy for furlough, and which is a leave of absence from services. 2.11 is regarding board policy for reassessment of service need based on a student's response to services. So in other words, if the student isn't responding positively to services, we can reevaluate that and see what we need to add on, take off, that kind of thing. 2.12 is regarding board policy for exiting of students from services. And 2.13 regards board policy relating to appeals for placement decisions. And then 2.14 is board policy for ongoing identification in areas of potential. So check, check, check. All of those we've got. The next standard that we're going to talk about is extremely important because it supports decisions we have to make in order to obtain equity of services for all populations. So equity in the standard we're about to talk about is something we're working very hard to improve as a district. Historically, we over-identify in some areas and under-identify in others. We are under-identifying in the following populations: at risk, economically disadvantaged, emergent bilingual, and Hispanic. And we are improving in those areas, but we still have some work to do. Standard 2.25 states that the population of the Gifted and Talented Services program is closely reflective of the population of the total district and/or campus. So one more time, the population of GT services should closely reflect the population of the total district and/or the campus. So to illustrate this, around 40% of our student population is considered economically disadvantaged. This means that a proportional amount, or around 40% of our GT population, should also be economically disadvantaged. Last year, however, only about 12% of our GT students were eco-dis, or economically disadvantaged. So this is a gap that we're slowly closing, but it takes a lot of effort to correct systemic misunderstandings for what it means to demonstrate a need for gifted services.